Star Trek Picard Episode 3, The End is the Beginning. I'm Joe. Please subscribe to this channel. Sorry for my voice, not feeling particularly well today, but I'm still doing my review of Picard. Doing a recap on the show I'm finding to be almost useless because very little in the way of story happens as far as moving along on the plot. That's become a complaint I'm seeing with a lot of articles and reviews online. Things like a sluggish start, finally gets a crew, finally gets a ship, engage already. And I've seen a lot of that with articles. And to those articles, I dismiss because I like it. I like the fact that it's moving at this pace. I am fine with this sluggish start. I am fine with it. I'm fine with the fact that it took him 3 episodes to actually say engage and to go somewhere. And that in the trailer for next week's episode, it looked like they showed him back in his office at the Chateau talking to Raffi. I already know at some point he's going to go visit Riker, who I'm sure is probably in Alaska. So he's not even going to go that far from Earth. They're going to go places and come back to Earth. It's the perfect blend of what The Next Generation was with current television. Because The Next Generation was a slow-moving show where you saw people sitting around and playing poker and reading and in classical music concerts. This is taking that television of today where everything ties into one arc for a season and melding it with that Next Generation pace, and I love it. So what do we know so far? We know there's secret Romulan operatives working on Earth, the Zhat Vash. They're also on this Romulan Borg project. We know that Shoji wants to speak to an ex-B, an ex-Borg, who is or was the foremost expert on ancient Romulan myth. We know that the Zhat Vash is operated on the premise of knowing a secret so awful that to know it, your mind would melt. I think that's what they said in the first episode, basically. Like, a secret so devastating it'll warp your brain. And we know they don't like synthetics. Foremost expert in ancient Romulan myth starts talking and basically calls Shoji, you are the end of things, you are the destroyer. And as that's happening, back on Earth, with the sloppy Zhat Vash agents who tried to kill Picard and his housekeepers, he says she's not a girl, she's a destroyer. Somehow the Zhat Vash think that Shoji is going to end the entirety of life because of this ancient Romulan myth. And we don't know what the myth is yet, but I guess there's an ancient Romulan myth about synthetics somehow being the destroyer of all life. I guess that's where the plot is. Rios the pilot, that was very cool. Very, very cool character. He has a lot of potential, and I love the fact that he had an EMH and an ENH, an emergency medical hologram that looked like him, that was British, and an emergency navigation hologram that also looked like him, but was Irish, and that was so cool. And I like that they used the old trope back from the Voyager day of just, shutting off the doctor or whatever they wanted to. The other one they did in Voyager a lot was leaving the Doctor on in the room when they left, but yeah, they wanted to just shut him off, and he did that twice. Cool character that he has EMH, ENH that look just like him. We've seen Picard be this just amazing man to all the TNG members and all the people he encountered through all these years. And this is what happens when this amazing man, this godlike superhero figure who always comes up with a way, turns his back when he doesn't get what he wants. And she was the collateral damage. You could just see the anguish in her eyes during that flashback scene. You could see the anguish of her later, how she put her trust in this man who was supposed to be above all, and she paid for it. And another hero worship that we saw was his hero worship of himself. Picard told them, you can accept my resignation or take this plan. He bought into himself so much that he never thought they would accept his resignation. And he basically let his own ego and vanity get the better of him. And that's probably why he spent the last 14 years hiding, because he got too full of himself and he paid the price, and Raffi paid a major price. We also move on to the next part of the hero worship theme of this episode, which was Rios, and how Rios, you could tell, wants to embrace Picard because of his past, but he's trying not to, because whatever happened when he was the first officer of a heavy cruiser and he saw his captain get killed has scarred him, and So that's a very interesting character because he's someone who's probably would normally be drawn to Picard, but doesn't want to be because of his past experiences, and also because he knows Raffi and he knows how Raffi feels. The next thing I want to discuss is she's wearing sunglasses. We've never seen that before, and we know from Discovery that those from the mirror universe are more sensitive to the light of our universe. Was that a red herring? Did they just throw that out there to make you think she's from the mirror universe, or is that going to be their explanation that she is from the mirror universe? I don't know, but that was so blatantly obvious. I don't know how I feel about it if she ends up being from the mirror universe. I think mirror universe used to be just a cool little treat that we got mostly in DS9, especially sexy evil Kira. They've really integrated it into this new CBS All Access track. We'll see where that goes. Maybe it was just thrown in there to throw you off base. The Romulan spies in general, the Zat Vash, what a horrible group of spies. Bumbling, mumbling fools. They can't kill an old man and his two retired housekeepers. The ones on the ship. I mean, at this point, if Narek doesn't fall for Shoji, it's going to be the twist. Seriously, that would be the big twist if he actually stays on his plan and turns her in and is an enemy to her. That would be the twist with Narek. They're just such an incompetent crew of villains at this point. The show is about Jean-Luc Picard. That's all the show's about. That's all we need it to be about. Everything else is window dressing. As far as I'm concerned, I could watch 10 episodes, 8 episodes, 20 episodes of him just hanging out in the vineyard. And I would be happy. That's the best thing about this show. The fact that he's in it is what makes this show so amazing. If this was a different Star Trek show with a different lead and they used the same plot around a different character that they made up, it would be a disaster. But the fact that it's about Picard, the fact that they're integrating so much stuff from the Next Generation makes this show something I thoroughly enjoy, and I'm so happy it's on. I can't wait for the next episode. Can't wait for 7 and 9 to show up. Can't wait for Riker to show up and Troy to show up. I wonder if they're going to actually show Bruce Maddox. Maybe Data's alive. I don't know. I don't care. Bring Worf back. Bring Geordi back. Bring Harry Kim back. Don't bring Harry Kim back. The one thing it hasn't done is destroyed my childhood. A lot of the stuff that's being rebooted and retooled kind of spit all over what you loved in the past. This hasn't done that. Even though he's been kind of a jerk and you see his character at his worst, it doesn't matter. He's still such an amazing character that even him at his worst is engaging. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please subscribe to our channel. Until next time, I'm Joe.